Hey guys, what is up? It is Jimmy here. Today I have a new gun for you guys, and this is the Lego Colt 25. So this is another pocket pistol. I know I just made the Calibri, but I really wanted to make this pistol. I just saw a video on it on Recommended after I built the MP5, and yeah, it just ended up coming out really super good. So yeah, anyways, we'll just start going over this. We have the grip, which is constructed with grip panels mostly, so these are the only things that are actually holding in the magazine. The magazine release does not work because it is a heel magazine release, and there's no way to get any space to have one be here. So yeah, it's just nothing, and the magazine can just be pulled right out. The magazine has a special piece that I haven't really gotten used for yet, and I've just had forever, and it is this weird 2x2 bracket piece. And it just so happens that it is really super useful as a bottom piece for the magazine. The magazine built sideways so that you can actually get a bottom plate that is flush with the back. So we have a few holes here, which are just to show how many bullets you have inside the magazine. These are of course 25 ACP, so it's a tiny round, but of course better than the Calibri. We have this stud here, which is just to kind of attach it to the top here so that it would actually stay in. So it just goes in like that. You can see the grip is too wide, so the hole lower is too wide, and then the slide is 3 wide. We have the grip safety, which of course doesn't work. It's so small that it would be impossible to get something like that to work. But we do have the normal safety that works, so you can pull back the slide and you can click it down, and it actually stays in this position. It doesn't just move 360 degrees, but that does so that you can actually pull back the slide, which of course works. And it actually works really well to be tiny and also 3 wide. So as you can see, we have a bullet in the chamber, which is just loose in there. Can't really eject whatsoever. There's no hammer on the outside, there's a tiny hammer on the inside. So yeah, we have the ejection port here. If this was a bit more open, you could probably throw the round out there, but I just preferred to have it in there and have a nice looking shell ejection port instead of having it quote unquote eject. As you can see, the slide is mainly just built out of plates and these cheat slopes, which are just to make the shapes. It also uses these unique slopes, which enable you to have a few plate layers where you would normally have bricks, which is pretty much what just holds everything together while still making the shape. So I was actually able to put a working trigger inside of this. Of course it meant I needed to use a spring, which of course isn't as acceptable as rubber bands, at least I don't think so. Even though it is actually a Lego brand spring, which is right in here, and it just works off of there. It is held in by this tile and held in by the grip pieces. It does tend to kind of swivel to the sides, but it does work, even though it's not much triggerable. So I do kind of want to revise a 1911 using this same design, but we'll see how far I get. So we have the trigger guard, which just has some nice shaping, just to add a bit more detail. As you can see, we have the, I guess you would have a slide guide assembly here, but there's no way to make that with this small of space. So there's the visible barrel, and yeah, that is pretty much it for the pistol itself. But of course, just like the PP26, but this time it is just a super small gun, I decided to make a case. I had so many pieces left over that I had to make a case. So as you can see, it says Colt 25 on here. When you have a quote-unquote latch, you can just turn it and nothing really happens, but it just adds a bit more of an effect. You turn it and then you can open it up. So in the compartment here, you can see we have space for the slide and the magazine and the pistol itself, and a space for the barrel. So yeah, I decided to have a space where you can have the slide separate because it is such a small pistol, so you can get everything separated. So we have this piece to prevent accidental discharge while in the case. And of course, the pistol is super easy to take apart. Just take out the magazine. We can just pop off our slide like so. And slide it right off. Just leave the bullet out. Put it nicely in its slot like so. Take off our barrel. Usually you would just slide it off, but of course that's not possible in this one. And it just goes in like so. And there it sits nicely in its tiny case. It's really adorable. That's kind of the reason why I wanted to make a case. This case was a bit more tricky than the P226 one, since it is way smaller. But I do think it turned out pretty good. So when doing the tutorial for this pistol, I will not be doing for the case. If you want a case, you're gonna have to make it yourself, because I'm not gonna make a case for something that is, to say it mildly, this simple. So yeah, that is pretty much it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys. Goodbye.